challenges in writing this?
Yeah, because in the midst of it, I was tempted so many times. I was tried so many times because you are writing about how to follow. And then there were times where I get upset about who I'm following. And but that's what makes this book special, because I put in even those moments.
Okay.
You know, my down moments where I feel like I'm also down, I'm tired, I don't want to follow this person again, I don't want to do this again. So those were the trying times, yes. And then also I had to travel a couple of times. I had to do so many things at the same time. Yeah, I like to grind, you know. So those things were just and conflicting thoughts are also from other people. People, you know, who thought differently will say something, and I will question myself. Am I writing right? You know, am I putting out the right information?
Yeah.
Or maybe what I said, or let me go and change this part. In fact, also after I'd done maybe 80% of the book, I lost it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I lost the entire thing, and I was left with only 2 chapters. So I had to write it all over again.
You had to
I had to rewrite it.
How did you get that energy too? Because this is not like music where this is writing a book. Like you have to put your thoughts together again.
Yes. And that really broke me when I found out one night I was going to edit. I was done. I was going to edit, and I realized that I can find only 2 chapters. Is it that I didn't save it? Is it? But I knew I saved it.
Right.
So I had to write the whole thing again.
I don't know what I would have done. I
Yeah.
probably would have given up knowing me. But that's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, before we come into the nitty-gritties of the whole book, the title and everything that comes up, like, how are you able to create and stay focused to do this? Because I know there are a lot of people out there who would wish to write something, like write a book, do something. But the thing is that the moment you try to do it, like something just pulls you back, and you're unable to even start, let alone to put something together.
Yeah. Then it means you're not ready. If you want to do something, do it. Make mistakes. I think people are just afraid to make mistakes.
Right.
Make mistakes, take a risk. Last 2 years, December, it was when my resolution for 2024 was to take risks. And it made me realize how far, you know, I could go as a person. And so take risk. Our culture doesn't allow it, because sometimes, you know, your parents love you so much, you know, they're telling you, hey, you know, be modest, do this, you know, be calm, be quiet, you know, and all of that.
Yeah.
But take the risk, do it, go all out for it. For me, it's also, I was highly inspired by scriptures.
Right.
I realized that the Christian faith in itself is a battle, and it was fought for. And so I can't be weak in my daily life. I mean, and if you're following the person I follow, he doesn't sleep, you know, he does incredible things with little. And so what's your excuse? You know, as I'm reading a book now called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I realized the guy went through so much. When he was going through an illness, his sister was also cancerous, and just when his sister recovered, and when he had also just recovered, his eyeballs started coming out.
Oops.
And how he was able to change or move into his new face that's made him a great person is what. So those things helped me. Reading, I decided to pick up my life again. I decided to walk a good path and be a man. You know, so if you want to do something, do it.
Go ahead and do it. If you're just joining me here on Daybreak Hitz, Trigmatic is my guest. If I say Trigmatic, it's the Trigmatic we all know, you and I know. Maybe you're used to us calling him rapper. Okay, I will just remind you, it's Trigmatic. He's our guest this morning. Trigmatic has put a book together, and it has so much in it that you definitely need one for yourself. Now, the title of the book, The Lion's Aid, Understanding the Art of Following.
Yeah.
The title, you could have maybe written that to things to know before you go to work. Not that.
Yeah.
But this, The Lion's Aid. What inspired the title?
The life or the character of a lion. I love the lion. So two animals I love, the lion and the eagle.
Okay.
And I was intrigued when one time I think my pastor or someone asked the question that how is it that the lion is not the fastest and not the strongest, but is the most talk or is the king of the jungle?
Right.
So I decided to research a little bit, and in one of my travels to South Africa, I decided to actually go see the lion, and I was intrigued by the things I learned, and I put that in the book. It's in the first chapter.
Okay. You saw the lion.
Yes. And an animal that will intimidate you.
Yeah.
You know, but then beyond all of that, I realized that what makes him the king of the jungle is how coordinated he is, or he or she is. Actually, the lioness is the most dangerous. And the strength of the lion is in the pride. It's not in the single animal. It's with the pride.
Right.
And so I felt like following a leader who is focused on a goal, you would have to identify with the leader first of all. And so I picked the lion because the lion is the king of the jungle.
Right.
So it's like the leader of all animals. And if you want to follow, like people say, I want to work with this rich man. Oh, I want to follow this big man. I want to follow this politician. I want to follow this lawyer and all of that. All those people have their goals. They are lions. And so to be an aide or to be a follower or an assistant, you'd have to be a cub, or you have to identify as a lion first.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's why I used that. And when I was writing back then, in my writing days, I used to write for Sparks magazine. When I was writing, my topics or the way I title my writing has always been a thing.
Yeah.
You know, I always pick something that will get you, you know, overthink. And if you look at my album titles, is also the same.
Unique.
Yeah.
Unique.
Yeah.
Right. So for those of you, that's the title of the book, The Lion's Aid, Understanding the Art of Following. And you can see his name right at the bottom. That's Enoch Yao Ojo Eje with Trigmatic. So those of you who are looking for it, when you get there, you see the name there, so you know that it is his book.
Yes.
So how many chapters are in this book?
I did initially was 12, but I scaled it down to 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
10 chapters.
Yeah.
So this one is not a big book.
No, it's not.
So you can't say that it will take you one whole year to read.
Yes. And the audiobook is coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
For some people, I know they would prefer to listen.
Yeah.
Others too would prefer to actually, because most of us are used to waking up and taking the actual book and read it. So,
yeah.
so we will go and get that one. So is it out? Have you launched it?
Yes, it's out. It
It's
was
out?
launched on my birthday.
On your birthday?
Yes. So
It's out.
Go
and
on
where
to-
can we get it?
my website, www.trigmaticmusic.com, and you find it. It comes together with a tote bag. And so if you want both packs, you can find it there. It's going for 150 Ghana cedis.
Right.
Yeah.
And so please go and get the book. Nyansandi eni baako fo trim.
True.
Makatri anape. So if you want to keep knowing what you want to know, if you want to understand how things are done, especially in the working environment, and how to follow a leader, how you would choose to follow a leader, or how to work around a leader, then please go and grab one, read it, understand, so that when you meet these people, you know how to relate to them, because you cannot just sit down and say that I like this man and I would like to work with him when you don't know anything about that person.
Yeah.
So please grab a book for yourself, read it, and you would understand everything, and it can help you in so many ways. Don't just read this one, read books. I'm making trick this. I'm saying, when's the last time I read a book? Oh my goodness.
No, you need to read.
But I have to read this. I have to read this and call you and let you know that I read.
Yes,
and then
great.
everything that comes with it. It's in
Great.
Pacho book in Pacho told by me the Kawana.
And I said, me arranging on with you, bro.
I'll definitely get one. So
Sure.
yes, go on his website and then get the book, and then let's all move on. So for a lot of your fans, I mean, after putting this book out, does it mean that music is on hold, or
No. I mean, I'm always multitasking. I have an album coming out soon. Recordings, I've been recording every time. I think my challenge, or maybe I wouldn't say it's a challenge, I think my weakness has been releasing songs. I like to time it, so now I don't get involved again. I leave the team to handle it because they think I don't like to release stuff. If you check my pages now, they're releasing most of even old performances that people didn't know that I'd done. Last year was a great year. I did quite a number of shows outside the country, and so we have all those footages. It was good. It's good to put it out. The album is coming this year. We have a number of African collaborations. We are torn between releasing that album or releasing the solo album. So that's what now the confusion is. So many songs, we don't know which ones to release. I have a song with Azawi from Uganda, which we're thinking of releasing next. But there's another song with Ralph Gum, which we're also trying to release. The first one with Ralph Gum was very good, but it was more promoted in South Africa. And the second one is also going to be heavily promoted in Southern Africa. The song with Azawi, obviously East Africa is the target, but then we will still promote back here. There's a song with Intunzi. There's another song with Azana from South Africa. So many of the collabs. Chandambao from Zambia.
There's something unique about you. The South Africans seem to enjoy your company, your music and all that. What have you done to them? What did you say to them?
Well, I think that it's just the gift. I mean, your talent speaks louder than anything else. The first time I ever recorded there was through a guy called Zamani. And ever since that studio session, he's always wanted me to work with somebody. So like, he'll be like, oh, I played your song for this guy and he wants you to do a verse on a song. And I will hear it and I'm like, oh, I'm very selective with tracks. So let me hear it first. And it's been like that, you know, like the song that was just played before this one was recorded there with a South African producer or a Southern African producer. He's from Zimbabwe. He's also the president for music in Africa. So when I meet them, and I think they also like the vibe. They like the vibe. The way I talk to them, you know, the way we roll, they like the way I think. And it's been like that. Even in South Africa, there's a part of South Africa, the Southern African industry that don't know me much as an artist, but they know me much as an artist liaison. You know, so I liaise between artists and promoters as well. That's a side hustle. And
Trig, you're doing a lot.
We're trying.
Oh, you're doing a lot, trust me. And this is beautiful. But then again, in as much as, yes, I think you mentioned something about the fact that when it comes to, you know, putting your music out there and, you know, doing the promotion, you are more of like, it's not something, that energy is not there. But like, then again, you always, I don't know whether to use the word relax. You're not one who is always in a rush to do things. Is that the case?
Yeah, I'm hardly in a rush to do anything. It's not like I'm not in a rush, but there's so many things happening. And so obviously, if you want to get the right attention, you have to monitor the system and know when to release like a song, especially with song releases nowadays. There's so many artists. My last performance was with Olive the Boy. We did in Takrady, and I learned something, or I noticed something. I noticed how so many of the acts are releasing songs, but they are not really exhausting the lifespan of the song. They are not really using it. Like in our time, you release a song and you probably have to do the whole country physically, but now because there's internet, most of the guys don't move around, like go to the hinterlands or go to the rural areas, you know, vibe with them. Like there are times where you have to do the main cities first and then come back to Accra, re-put yourself together and do the towns, the smaller towns in there. That's when you actually know you're reaching out to the people. So that's why I take my time. And I believe that promotion needs to be twice. You need to have twice the money for promotion
Very important.
than the production. So if you say you invested a million Ghana cedis in a production, or 100,000 or 50,000, you need to have twice of that money, because you need to get the people to hear it. So I don't want to start things, then it will be hanging in between there, that kind of thing. You know? Yeah.
Right.
So
I get
that's
it.
why I take my time.
I see you, like you mentioned, you roll a lot with your pastor.
Yeah.
Do you have plans of becoming a man of God, like a pastor?
Well, it's not in my plan. It's not something I've sat down to say, but I see my love for God grow from time to time. I personally feel like I have so many things I want to try my hands on, so many things.
Yeah.
And it's not something I've thought of. Yes. However, I'll be very happy if that time comes. It's not something I would, and I don't want to do it out of pressure, so I'm taking my time, but I'm learning so much. I don't want to wait.
Yeah.
So when the time comes, I'll be prepared, or I know that I'm ready for that task. Otherwise, you get to face the challenges in there, because ministry is very challenging, I must say. When I watch him and I see that some of the challenges that they go through, it's not easy. It's not something that's a walk in the park, like people say. People just see the glam. People just see maybe like a pastor dressed and with people following them and cars, but that's really not the ministry. It goes deeper than that. And so, to answer your question, it's not something I've thought of, but I'm not God. If that's what God, but I would love to do so many things ministry related.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it now. I'm a full member of my church. Even beyond my church, when I meet people, I talk to them about Christ, because that's my role as a believer first.
Right.
Is to make sure I spread the gospel. And so, yes, if you even listen to some of my songs, I make sure I reverend God, and I make sure that when I meet a friend, even if it's not a friend, even strangers, I'm like, oh, try this. You've done this, but try this. And it's a beautiful thing, I must say. It's a beautiful thing. If just yesterday I was telling somebody, when you find yourself through Christ, it's such a beautiful experience that we downplay or we underrate it, and we think it's not a cool thing, but in fact it's the coolest thing you can have. It gives you a certain level of understanding in everything, especially if you are true to that call, like reading your scriptures and praying and having a personal relationship. People cannot sway you easily, because you are dealing with a creator. And so if that time comes, why not?
Then maybe if we're lucky, you can give us a gospel song.
I've done so many of that, and when people say that,
I think we're used to a certain type of your music.
No,
so
I actually have done gospel songs.
Have.
Like when but mostly I realize that people don't listen to albums. I was telling Antoine that's why I don't waste my time. Excuse me for using the word waste, but it's because we are not album listeners. If you listen to almost every album, I make sure I drop two or more gospel songs on there, like Ancient of Days.
Yeah.
It's a full gospel song. In fact, I even tried to promote it with some gospel stations, which didn't work. For obvious reasons.
We're used to a certain style of gospel music. So
yes,
we want that style, but
that's sad, because that will never be me.
That's what I think.
No. I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you that if I choose to record, it will be very. So even now, I barely listen to homemade gospel music.
Right.
It was just recently that some of the urban guys would do, because I experiment with sound. I love my love for music is not about fame. I love music. It's not about fame. So I take my time with music. So even when you look at the kind of people that I listen to, even within the African music space, gospel music space, they're not the very popular ones, but those are the ones I enjoy. So if I'm to produce anything like that, it will be along those lines. Live music, live sounds, very different. It might be odd. I think there's a girl in Nigeria like that. I'm trying to remember her name. I love her sound.
Yeah.
I love her sound. And now I'm also hooked on some Ima something guy.
Ima.
Yeah, he's not Ghanaian.
Okay.
Also Nigerian. In Ghana, I love Philip Ajale, by the way, because I love the tone of his voice. I love Perez because I'm biased to Ghana.
I know, right?
And I love Joe Metal.
Right.
I was at a Joe Metal concert in South Africa in December.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes.
That's him.
Yes. So those are the few I listen to, down here. If the music doesn't challenge me, it doesn't draw me, regardless of what message it is. I'm not really moved.
I get you. Now, this is Daybreak Hitz here on Hitz 1039 FM. If you all leave myself and Trigmatic, the conversation will go on and on and on and on. But I want to remind you that he has a book out. The book is titled The Lion's Aid, Understanding the Art of Following. That's a new book. Then this is probably your first book.
Yes, my first book.
Yeah, this is his first book. And yes, as I said, most of you know him for music. If you're someone who listens to Trig's music, you listen to the lyrics of his songs, then you would be drawn to this book because now you'd want to know more what he's putting in this book. So go on there. And for those of you who are still looking to get jobs, to get the opportunity to work in institutions and all that, this is also for you because this will guide or aid you to know best or better before you actually go into that and how to deal with people you feel or think are the best you need to follow, but perhaps do not know much about them. So please do well to get this book. As he said, it's on his website. Can you give us the website again, Trig?
www.trigmaticmusic.com.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So go and get the book. Let's read. Let's support Trigmatic. And when the music one also comes out, then we can all continue to support a brother. Trig, is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap it all up?
I'd like to thank your listeners.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you as well. Thank Hitz FM, the entire Daybreak crew. And then I want to say, if you're a big Trigmatic fan and you listen to the music, keep supporting what I do. There's a lot of music about to be released, and so do the following. But spend all your time on the website, because beyond the book, everything else is on the website. We have the My Life tour coming up, which is supposed to start from next month. We're supposed to start this month, but it wasn't possible. So we're starting from next month. We have that. We have we're touring Ghana and touring a few African countries as well. And then we have the Osajifos Nights, which we did last year and it's coming again this year. The African Music Business Dialogue is on in March. And so look out for it. This year is going to be crazy. This year, if you're an up-and-coming artist or a young artist coming up, this should be the event for you, because I'm bringing some of the people that you need. So come in there, let's network, let's talk about our music and where we can take it and make some good money out of it. That and more. So just go on the website, trigmaticmusic.com. Everything that you want to know will be on there. And thank you so much for the support all these years. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for always giving us the best to always look forward to. Trigmatic was my guest here on Daybreak Hitz. And as you heard, go grab a copy of the book.
And sorry, I forgot to thank my team, Dede and Antoine. Thank you guys so much. The rest of the guys as well, Danny, and then the Ajimpa band, my band. I appreciate you guys so much. I know you guys are listening.
Right. Maybe this year, Trig will be in Switzerland again. Last year, we were in Switzerland.
Yeah.
I tell you, I follow Trig a lot, so there are a lot of things he does that I'm aware of. Thank you so much, Trig, for coming in this morning. It's still Daybreak Hitz on Hitz 1039 FM, and yes, Trigmatic was my guest. You can follow him on all his social media handles. Go on there. If you need any information, just reach out to him. Definitely, he will respond to you, and we can move on from there. My name is Doreen. I have your hashtag Navrungo Chick. I've seen Ria. I've seen I've seen Ninoy as well. I don't know who is gonna